Well, I don't often do too many reaction videos to things I read related to the automobile world, but I found something on Facebook that seemed pretty timely, and I thought maybe it's a chance to give my 2 cents about it. According to some blog that came out from the NADA, that's National Automobile Dealers Association, supposedly, I don't know, they didn't say how they got their stats, but, we'll just assume they're legitimate. Supposedly, attendance was up 13.2% at the Oklahoma City Auto Show, and it was up 14.7% reportedly at the Tulsa Auto Show. Now, I said in a recent car show video, I quipped that I didn't think attendance was up at those shows. And I don't have access to hard stats. If I'm to assume maybe they have ticket sales they could point to or claim, I would just say, having attended both of them and having attended in years past, anecdotally, which is what I have to go on, neither of them seem like they were as high as they used to be, especially the Oklahoma City Auto Show, which I've attended more times, and which I attended this year and last year on the same day of the week. So, anecdotally, it didn't seem like they were as much. But regardless of whether or not my anecdotal notion, what it felt like, was wrong according to the stats, it is definitely a for sure thing that dealer participation, the showing off of the new models, the main draw of these auto shows, which is to be able to go to the show and view the new models and check them out without the pressure of the salesman and the pressure of having to buy after you've walked on the lot. That was lacking at both of those shows, and that's easy for me to stand by. The Oklahoma City Auto Show was further back, but I know there weren't quite as many brands there as I've seen before. The Tulsa Auto Show for sure was lacking. For sure. There was no Chevrolet dealer there, for instance. Nobody showing off a Chevy. I think the only Chevy on display was some customizer had a display, and they had a custom Chevy truck that had the same style of step-down tailgate as the GMC models do. So, there was no Honda dealer, no Hyundai dealer, no Nissan. They had Infiniti, but not Nissan. The list goes on and on. I actually made an Instagram post talking about how few there were. And for what it's worth, I posted something about that on Facebook, on my personal Facebook. I don't have a Beeline Bennett Facebook, but on my personal Facebook, I posted something about the auto show and the Tulsa Auto Show about the lack of dealer participation. And someone responded that, because of shortages in supply, that was probably why there weren't that many there. Shortage in supply from the factories and such. So, regardless of what this article had to say, dealer participation was down, and the experience wasn't quite as good, not being able to have as much variety and see as many different types of cars. And you could tell at both shows, they made a concerted effort to bring in more classic cars. Okay, they brought in more classic cars, and they brought in the GM Futureliner. That was to help make up for the empty show space they would have had if they hadn't concentrated on bringing in extras of those. So, like I said, I know I used the word supposedly the stats were up. If they were up, congratulations. Anecdotally, didn't feel that great, but dealer participation is definitely down at the shows, at the Tulsa Auto Show and the Oklahoma City Auto Show for 2021. And I hope for 2022 they get some of these dealers back. Otherwise, if the dealers aren't participating, there's not going to be as much of an incentive for the public to keep coming, and then maybe this increase in attendance will be an anomaly. Now, I will say a couple of other events I've attended since then. I went to a tractor show in Pawnee, and I went to a cruise night in Claremore. I've done videos on both of those. It does seem like more people are getting out to these type of events. I can feel that now. I didn't feel it as much when I attended the Tulsa Auto Show and the Oklahoma City Auto Show, but I can tell that I feel that way more now. Again, I'm just giving anecdotal information. Sometimes your anecdotes are more reliable than others. If there's 4,000 people attending an event, a difference of 10% is going to be 400. Might be kind of hard to tell if it's down or up. You're not exactly counting everybody. But thanks for listening, like I said, and continue watching and click like and subscribe.